Spam. I love it. I mean, how can you not love Spam? It's made in America. It's ready to eat. It has this stuff. It's great. Now you might be wondering, how do I eat this? Do I get a pair of chopsticks and try to pick it up somehow? Or do I use like a fork and spoon and eat it like a peasant? My god, the horror. No, we use it to make the Spam Musubi. But wait, that's boring. Everyone makes a Spam Musubi, but not everyone makes the Spam Katsu Musubi, the far superior Spam Musubi. Let's go. First, we gotta cook rice. Make sure it says extra fancy, or any short grain rice will do. Now, if for some reason you don't have a rice cooker, I'm gonna show you how to do it over the stove. Measure out about a cup of rice and put it in the pot. Amazing. Wash and drain your rice until your ancestors are satisfied, or roughly 3 to 5 times. Now for short grain rice, you want to let it soak in water for at least 30 minutes. Don't touch it. For the love of God, don't touch it. While we're waiting, let's cut some seaweed. Now you can cut it into halves or thirds. It really doesn't matter, but for me personally, I prefer thirds. And wham bam, thank you ma'am. We're done with that part. The main ingredient, Spam. Let's pop open that bad boy and poop it onto that cutting board. Pro tip, don't throw away the can, we're gonna use it for later. Like the seaweed, the size of your Spam slices is completely up to you. If you wanna make big old chunks and put it over a bed of rice, by all means do it. But for me, I managed to get about 7 slices. By this point, your rice should be done soaking. Go ahead, drain the remaining water, and then refill the pot with about 1.25 cups worth of water. All you need to do at this point is to bring the water to a boil and then immediately turn the heat to low, leaving it there for 15 minutes covered. And there you go, you accomplished the complex task of cooking perfect rice. So you might be wondering, well, can I just make a normal Spam Musubi? What the fuck are you talking about? We got this far already. Don't give up on me now! Anyways, the next step is to get your katsu breading station ready to go. You're gonna need all-purpose flour, 1 beaten egg, and panko breadcrumbs. For the breading process, grab a Spam slice, cover it in flour, dunk it into the egg wash, and then completely cover it with panko crumbs. Well, ain't that cute? Finally, time to potentially burn your face off and fry these puppies. Pour in a neutral oil, like canola or vegetable, into your pan. You do not need to fill your pan with too much of this, just enough to submerge the Spam. Ideally, you want to heat your oil to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. If you don't have a thermometer, you can simply put a wooden spatula or a chopstick into the pan and see if bubbles start to form. Once you know your oil is hot enough, carefully place your Spam into the pan and let it fry on each side for about 1 minute. Since the meat is already cooked and you don't need to worry about dying of parasites, you just need to fry it to the crispiness you desire. If it looks good enough for you, take the Spam out of the pan and let it cool off for about 5 to 10 minutes. Well, golly gee, isn't that the most beautiful thing you ever seen? It only took us 1,000,000 years, but we can finally assemble this Spam Musubi. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, but you're going to need to wash and clean out that can you totally saved. You're also going to need a little Ziploc bag, and a rice paddle with a bowl of water. Step number 1. Open your Ziploc bag and insert it into the empty can. This will now act as a mold for your rice. Step number 2. Wet your paddle and get about 2 scoops of rice and place it into the can. Make sure you really press the rice into the can to help it retain its shape. Again, the amount of rice you put in is merely a matter of preference. Wait, I almost forgot. How can you have a katsu without katsu sauce? So, get some ketchup, soy sauce, Worcestershire or balsamic vinegar, and some optional oyster sauce. To be completely frank, I pretty much eyeballed the measurements here, but if you want to be more precise, you can go with a tablespoon of ketchup and maybe a teaspoon of the soy sauce, vinegar, and oyster sauce. You can also skip this step and buy this pre-made at an Asian market. Step number 3.5. Pull the Ziploc bag out of the can and try to keep the rice intact. If you messed up like me, you can use your hands and gently mold it back into place. Get your katsu sauce and smear as much as you like over the rice. Grab a katsu patty and set that good boy on top of the rice. Step number 4, 5, 6, I don't know. Lay a piece of seaweed down on your cutting board and pull down the Ziploc bag just enough to expose the katsu. Confidently flip your katsu and rice over the middle of the seaweed paper. And with doctor-like precision, carefully remove the Ziploc from the rice. Wrap one side of the seaweed over the rice and then wet your fingies to help fuse the seaweed together. And with that last fold, we finally did it, ladies and gentlemen. We just made a glorious, magnificent Spam Katsu Musubi.